The 8th of Octoberween, getting ever closer to that magical night of the year when the veils between the two worlds are at their thinnest and we have that ability to contact our ancestors. Today's video, I am talking about a book called The Wheel of the Year, Living the Magical Life by Pauline and Dan Campinelli. I love this book. This is my second copy. My first copy of this book got ruined. I think I spilled red wine all over it, got a bit ripped. I think a cat chewed it. And I think I ended up giving it away to somebody because I can't find it. So it either went to somebody or somebody took it. Either way, it doesn't matter. It went to its new home. But this book is written by two American authors. So here in the UK, we can take parts out of it that relate to us. But for my American friends out there, this is an excellent book for you to utilise in your Wheel of the Year. When we go to the month of October, just go into the month of October, it has a wonderful list of things that you can do. When I say list, it's through the chapter of things that you can do. And I love this picture. This woman sitting by the fire in her green robe doing some divination. And divination is a very important part of this time of year. And I will be doing some divination videos for tomorrow. I will be using a crystal ball and hopefully showing you how to utilize a crystal ball. But today, back to this book review, because it's very important that we know the basics of our craft, that we know we have that knowledge, which stems from the word wit, which means knowledge, to know. So it is incredibly important that we utilize all the knowledge that we have in our lives. I'm going to read a little bit from here so you get the gist of what's going on in this book. The misty mornings of October melt into golden afternoons and crystal moonlit nights. Everywhere there is colour. The maple trees that surround our house envelop it in a cloak of buttery yellow and carpet the ground, while the cadmium orange sumac crowns the hill above the vineyard, all in contrast to the still green grass and clear blue skies. So you've got to picture the fact that they live on a sort of farm property where they are able to live the magical life that they want to. Many of us don't. Many of us live in towns and cities, and we can't practice witchcraft in the way that we would like. But you can take elements out of this and bring it into your own life. So to view the beauty of the trees at this time of year, take a walk out in nature. I did a video on that a couple of days ago. But spend some time out in nature, connecting with the energies of this time of the year. I went for a run earlier on today, and you know the offering that I left a couple of days ago on the log, it was actually still there. It had been blown around a bit, but it was still there. And I was quite surprised because normally those sort of things disappear. So I was really happy that it was still there. Maybe people are starting to respect those things a little bit more. Corn that has been left in the field to dry for winter feed has been bleached bone white, and it rattles like dancing skeletons in the October breezes. Inside, the first fires have kindled in the big kitchen fireplace to ward off the winter chill. I've had to put my heating on a couple of times. I try not to because it's expensive and I don't have an open fire or a wood burner. So I have to rely on central heating or my trusty radiator, electric radiator. So I generally use that and wrap up nice and warm. And of course, I've got 5 cats to keep me warm as well. There is a faint aroma of camphor wafting through the house from the familiar patterns of the patchwork quilts that have been brought out of storage to warm the frosty nights. The last of the herbs have been gathered and they hang from the smoky beams in the kitchen ceiling. There are the culinary thymes, savoury aromatic sage, the medicinal mints, coltsfoot and southernwood, and magical mugwort, wormwood and artemisia, bathed in its own moonlight, all hang in the flickering light of the hearth fire drying in its warm glow. So this book gives you an idea of the kind of magic that we would like to have in our lives, going back to the old ways of magic, when our lives were dictated to by the seasons, when we didn't have electricity, we didn't have central heating, we didn't have man-made clothes. We had to make our own clothing. We had to hunt. We had to survive. We had to grow things in order to eat. Now, of course, everything's different, and it's all very convenient for us to gather these things together, but it is very important as a witch to take time out to remember our ancestors and the things that they would have done, and maybe even to take part in some of those little rituals. Go out and collect some leaves, perhaps some berries, some feathers. Perhaps have a look around your garden. What can you do? Remember yesterday's video, I showed you how to plant some snowdrops and how to imbue them with your spell work so that they will grow with beauty in the next year. They mention here that this is the time of the apple harvest, and it certainly is. I've got my tree outside, and every day I'm taking an apple and making some food out of it, whether that be as a snack or in my porridge or my muesli or with a yogurt or even in a salad, because I do actually like apples in salads. It just adds that little bit of sweetness. And my apples are Granny Smith's, so they've actually got quite a sour taste, but with a bit of vinegar and salt, they taste really good. So it's time to, I don't want to say worship the apple, but to wassail the apple tree, to bless it and bless its roots. And I always pour a little bit of my libation out underneath the tree on Samhain, so that that tree gets a little bit of that magic and hopefully will flourish and bloom with lots of flowers for lots of apples in the coming year. There's some lovely little phrases in here as well, some lovely little spells that you can recite, such as, here's to the apple tree, flowers at Beltane, fruit at Samhain, apple tree, blessed be. And I did say to you yesterday that your spells and incantations don't need to be elaborate. They can be as short and sweet and simple as you like. They don't need to rhyme either. Some of us can't write rhyming poetry. Some of us can. Hazelnuts are also very popular at this time of year because they are, of course, ripe on the tree. And the hazelnut is the nut of wisdom. In the Celtic belief, the salmon ate the hazelnut off of the tree and became the wise salmon. I will go into all of these stories in detail in other videos. If I were to do it here, we'd be here all night. So, hazelnuts, 9 in a ring. By the smoke of the Samhain fire bring protection to this house and those within. Blessed be this charm of nuts and string. So you can string and thread nuts onto a string or a rope or wool. I generally use wool for my knot work, for my knot spell magic. So it's a very common theme to use 9. 9 is a very sacred number in witchcraft. 3 times 3. Everything in this book explains the sort of things that you can experience throughout the month of October. So maybe you want to sit down and journal and write down your experiences through the month of October. But know that you are individual and your experiences will be different to the people in this book. We don't all live this life, but we can take from it those things that we want to bring into our life. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please click the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm only a small channel and it really makes a massive difference for your subscribing. Hope to see you next time. Blessed be.